Well, this was a rose that we put in when we arrived, and it's called Pink Perpetuary because it flowers perpetually right through the summer, and it's a wonderful rose. I think we had it outside the door at the cottage as well when we first moved there. Here we've got a row of fuchsias, and these remind me of Doreen Atkinson, who early when we bought this house, she took us, 3 or 4 of us, to a specialist fuchsia nursery up the valley somewhere, and they show at Chelsea and produce the most amazing plants. So I chose these because these are all hardy and none of them need to come in for the winter. But underneath here, this is absolutely packed full of daffodil bulbs. So in the spring, when I cut back the fuchsias, because they're all not flowering at that time. Right. Well, here is the catmint, which we put in as soon as we arrived. It's a very big one. It's called Six Hills Giant, and the bees absolutely love it. Look at all the bumblebees on it. And it has a lovely smell. And then, of course, it's just going to cut right back when it's finished. These are potentillas. These came in, again, I put these in when we arrived because we needed something to flower down this little path here. So here are the potentillas, and some of them are just coming out, and some of them will come out in a little while. Eventually they will all be in full flower down both sides of the bed. These are 2 new ones there, which haven't grown very big yet. Here is the pond, which Peter gave me for Christmas last year. And Arthur dug it out really beautifully and planted it round with irises and a few other things like that. And the foxgloves have just planted themselves, and they all look very nice. It has to keep being topped up with water because it's so hot at the moment. Right, we're down this side of the path. Here we have, again, the foxgloves just plant themselves, and I think they're lovely, so I let them come. Of course, they take 2 years to get to this because they're biennials. So here we are. This is a little sedum, which is feeling the drought rather. 2 more potentillas here, and here's another here. Right, here we are. These are 2 holly bushes which we put in, and we do get quite a few lovely berries on them. You can see the berries just beginning to form there on here, so we shall have some berries at Christmas time. And across there. Here we are. Right. Now, this is a ceanothus, which is a lovely plant. We've just missed it in full flower because it's the most gorgeous blue flowers all over. And Auntie Kathleen gave us this as a thank you present for us helping her move house when she sold her flat and moved into the trout betting in Ilkley. And she gave us this issue, so remember Auntie Kathleen when we look there. Here we are, there's more foxgloves and these lovely prickly things we put in here when we arrived. So they've produced lots of flowers in the spring on both sides of the drive. So on we go. Now this is a little rose called Ballerina, and we've got some more in the other garden, so I'll show you those as well. These are just coming out. You see that little foxglove has just decided to shoot up in the middle. These were, my parents had these just outside the front door at Glebe House. They loved it. I mean, you can see all the buds. It's going to be absolutely a mass of flowers. Here's a spirea, which has again got buds, and that will flower later on. Quite pretty. Now down here, this doesn't look very exciting, but these are rudbecas, which will grow up quite tall, as high as the fence, and they, in the autumn, have masses of bright yellow daisy-like flowers. So that will be very pretty in the autumn, because the idea in the garden is to always have some colour at different seasons. This silver birch, we put in this silver birch when we came, of course, and it seems to like it here. And it's a nice feature in the garden without being too close to the house. This is a lavateria, which we brought down from the cottage. This will have lovely purple flowers on it in a little while. You can see all the buds. That will be very nice. And this I bought as a tiny little plant from Asda, out in the cold and rain. Cost me 50p, and here it is, and it flowers. It's a gorgeous shrub which has these yellow flowers in the spring and looks really lovely. Now this is a perennial geranium. I'm very fond of perennial geraniums, and this one is called Anne Fulcard, and it spreads like anything in the summer, and then in the autumn I cut it right back to where the central plant is, which is just down here somewhere. So that will be cut right down, but it's just gorgeous, and it will go on spreading. And this was a present from some very dear friends of ours who went out to Chad with us twice, and it was just a lovely Christian couple, and then they came up to visit us, and this was a present they brought us. They have both since died, actually, so it's lovely to have that as a memorial of them. Now this garden has actually got a lot of tulips in it. Of course they've all finished, unfortunately, so you can't see them. So in the spring we get tulips. Now we've got delphiniums coming up, and these alliums, you can just see if you're at the back, they have just finished, unfortunately. That's absolutely gorgeous, full of alliums. And they're dying back, so we're getting the delphiniums coming up, and of course more foxgloves all over the place. And then here, these are Michaelmas daisies, so in the autumn that will be a lovely colour there when the alliums have gone and the delphiniums are finished. And then behind you can see all the poppies, the buds of the poppies, and there's one out, a lovely pink poppy, and you can see all the buds of the poppies just there. So on we go. Here we've got a hydrangea looking very sad because it was so dry, it needed a lot more rain, which it hasn't had actually. So here we have, this is a rock rose. This has been here for ages. I never do anything to it really, it just flowers and looks pretty. Again, more foxgloves everywhere.